What's going on, family? In this video, I'm going to be giving you guys the rundown on how I installed this license plate bracket on my 23 Kawasaki Vulcan 650. So I just recently posted a video where I built this custom fender eliminator, and with that I decided to do a side mount license plate bracket. This was about $23 on Amazon. It did take a little bit of fabricating, and I'm going to show you guys exactly what it took. So when this part comes to you, this bracket is separate from this bracket, and it comes with 3 small screws that recess into this plate. My first problem was the 3 bolt holes on this bracket do not line up with the 3 on this plate. So if you hold the top one in the middle, they kind of line up, but the third one don't, or vice versa. If you do the bottom one and the middle one, they kind of line up. By kind of, I mean the bolts are very tight, but then your top one won't. So what I did was I actually drilled out the holes. You can see right here, I don't have one ran through here, but I drilled out the holes on the plate and on the actual bracket. And then I just ran 2 bigger bolts through it. And the reason I have 2 instead of 3 is because when I did it today, I did not have anything that was big enough to actually fit the hole, but also not too long to actually get in the bracket. So you can see it's a pretty close fit between here and here. This hangs probably 1/8 further than the room I have left in this bracket right here. So after I drilled the holes, got the bracket mounted, had to find some hardware for the license plate. I had to put a shim between the plate, which you can see right here, because I didn't use recessed bolts down in there, which you can see. So without the shim, the plate wasn't, I wouldn't say it's perfectly round, but you know, it has the correct curve. It was very wrinkled, basically. So I just put some speed nuts for the shims, ran bolts through it, and a lot of people will run LED lights on this bracket. I'm going to run that, but as of right now, this is what we're working with. So eventually when I do get those in, we will install the LED lights instead of these bolts. So the third thing, and the biggest part, which I knew I was going to run into, is the bracket does fit. So if you take this off, the bracket's height does fit in your guide. The problem is it is longer than the actual block that comes with this. It hung about 1/4 inch further. So the problem we had there is if you line up the axle hole for this new plate in the guide bracket on the other side, your adjuster then is not going to be in place and your wheel is going to be kicked out. So what it is, I took the old plate, I set on the hole perfectly, I scribed a line through it, and then I took a piece of tape, ran across, and then I actually just cut it off. After I cut it off, I grinded it where it was nice and flat, and then painted it, put the bracket on, got all the hardware put back together, and then adjusted my bolts here, because when you do this, you need to actually bring this guide in a good amount, get it set up here, and then after you have everything straight and your axle tight and all, then you'll adjust your actual guide. So it was simple. It took about an hour to do all of this, as long as you got the right tools. Go ahead and get the hardware you want to do this. Drill bit, and you'll need a cutoff wheel, safety glasses, all that stuff. So you need something to cut this, but when you cut this, you have to make sure it's perfectly straight. You don't want it at an angle cut, because then your guide is not gonna work properly. With the right tools, it went very fast. So that is it, guys. I do love the way it turned out, and like I said, I am going to have LED lights installed on it. Whether it's the top or the bottom, I'm not sure, but when I do that and run it all and wire it, I will make a video on that. So if you guys enjoyed this video, hit that like button, check out the channel. I do post weekly videos on auto body, auto mechanics, and how-tos. I have a lot of videos. I have a whole playlist on this bike, and everything I do to this bike, I post up on the channel. If there's anything else you guys would like to see, comment that down below. Check out other videos, and I'll see you guys in the next one.